Welcome to Lifehouse April Lunch and Learn. Thank you for joining us. Today, I'm Laura Jones. I'm the Donor Development Manager and our videographer today who always has me smiling. One of our residents is helping us out behind the camera. And we also have our case manager, Leslie Mandeldove, who will be sharing a little bit more with you about our program. So, as with everyone in this day and age with so many changes and things like that, we've had to adapt our business processes. If I weren't on video camera today, we all would be wearing masks because as essential employees, we want to keep our residents safe. So yes, that is a normal practice, just while we're on camera. I want you to be able to hear us clearly and see our smiling faces. So we are making changes like that, adapting our processes for the safety and health of our residents. But we're also trying to keep things as normal as possible. So one of the things is, many of you parents know, with daycares closed, that children are home more these days. Although even with our tiniest residents, we're working to keep them on a consistent schedule. Our mother of our dynamic duo, if you've seen pictures on our Facebook feed of our 2-year-old toddler twins, that we are working on potty training them. So, and it's also their nap time. So any parent, as you know what happens at nap time, so if you'll hear some giggles or squeals or otherwise in the background, just wanted to let you know that's what's going on. So, but with all of our residents, we're working on keeping that consistency, even though they may have lost their jobs during this time, but they're still searching to replace those jobs, replace those hours. Luckily, two of them have been successful in finding new jobs, so we're really excited and very proud of them. We're continuing with our programming that you'll hear from Leslie in a few moments, and in that case, we want to keep things as normal and ongoing as possible for us. So we're so glad you're here. Last month, we toured the maternity side of our home, so if you were not with us last month, you can also see that under our videos to see the beginning of our program and where our residents live when they first come to Lifehouse. So this month, we're going to show you our transitional apartments. But first, we're going to let you hear from Leslie Mandeldove, our case manager, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about our programs, and then we'll take a tour of our apartments. So Leslie is in our prayer room today.
Hi guys, it's Leslie, the case manager. I know that whenever you do take a tour, you have taken a tour, we kind of go, there's our prayer room and here it is. Well, you actually get to come look inside. So as you can see, we have our nice comfy chair. It's a place for our residents and our staff members to come and take a moment, take a breather. I know a lot of mothers, myself included, with toddlers, you have to take a minute. So it's very important. We have books, we have a Bible, we have rosaries, so whatever you need to do to kind of take a second and get it together, this is it. So I want to talk about our program a little bit, starting with whenever the girls come in through the doors. We are a program, so we do try to push our young ladies to do the very best they can to kind of transform their lives one step at a time. So the first what is it called? Goal. Couldn't think. Goal. The first goals that we set is within the first 30 days. The first 30 days are very crucial. It's a time for our residents to decide if they want to stay, if they want to go, if this is something they want to commit to. So within those first 30 days, we have them get their food stamp cards, their WIC, any type of social services they need to get established and on their way to motherhood, whether they decide to place their baby for adoption or actually parent. We want to make sure that we're setting them up for some type of success, whatever their journey they decide to take. So in those 30 days, we do require that our young ladies get employment. So it's part-time if you're pregnant. If you already have a child, then we do require that you do full-time and establish daycare and whatnot. So in those 30 days, we're just kind of monitoring and making sure you're making progress. We want to see you actually trying and doing what you can. Being a Christian organization, we do believe in grace and also just understanding and meeting people where they are. So it's very important that we stay in tune. And myself, mainly with being the case manager, I work really closely with our girls. So I want to make sure that I'm checking in and setting goals and making sure that they're doing everything that they need to do, but also give them the autonomy to kind of do it themselves. I'm not a hand holder. So basically, after that first 30 days, if they say, hey, we want to stay and we really want to try the program, our maternity side, as you've already toured, that side is where you have your baby. You kind of get everything going. After you've had your baby, you've gotten daycare, you're back to work full time, and you're kind of managing everything and multitasking really well. And we can kind of see that, and you're doing really well. We do allow for you to work your way to our transition apartments, which are 1-bedroom apartments. They're efficiency apartments. It's more independent. While you're on the maternity side, we kind of keep a close eye on you. Our house moms are there to kind of be more accessible to you. It's a lot more help and support. Once you kind of transition over to the other side, you kind of get a little bit more independence. You're able to do your own thing, keep your own schedule, and kind of do things at your own pace. The point of Lifehouse is that you're not going to stay here forever. It is a speed bump in life. You're kind of, you're hitting a point in your life where you need help. Well, we're here to help you. And then to also help you transition. So that's kind of a taste of how it's like to live on your own. You clean your own place, you kind of keep your own, do your own groceries, everything. You have your baby, and it's overwhelming for some, but honestly, if you've already proven on the maternity side that you can do it, then I'm pretty sure you'll be fine over there. Now, when they're over there to the transition apartments, I do still do case management with the young ladies, so if they have questions on budgeting, which is something we do as well, we help budget. Potty training, like our toddlers right now, we've talked about potty training, what to do with the toddler, what to do with the baby, and everything. We just kind of make sure we're there as a support. So we're not going to throw you to the wolves, but we're also going to be there for extra support as well. So our program, we still do require that you're keeping your apartment clean, you're staying on top of things, and we do monitor, but we just kind of, we're not down your neck as much as the other girls would probably say we are. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty cool. I think Laura will give you a tour of our clothing closet to kind of see what kind of donations we can take with girls who come in, and then she'll give you a tour of the apartment.
Okay, thank you, Leslie. And wanted to say hi to Kenton. Thank you for joining us. And anyone else joining us today, if you have any questions as we go through our tour, or for Leslie, anything that she just covered, we'd be glad to answer those for you. So, as Leslie mentioned, this is our clothing closet. Just wanted to give you an idea. A lot of times when our residents arrive, they may not have maternity clothes. They may not have clothing for job interviews or for work. Or clothing in general. So this is open to them to come shopping at any time and open and available for them. But we also like to show this just as a matter of space. We don't have a ton of space for storage, whether it be for clothing or otherwise. So we always ask that anyone who'd like to make a tangible donation to us, always check with us first to see what our needs are, and also just to make sure that we have space for storage until it's actually used. We don't want to accept anything that either we can't use at the time, or that someone else may be better able to use than we are. So we will carry on into our apartment now. So as Leslie mentioned, she talked about the goals from the maternity side over to the transitional side. And there is no particular set time frame for a resident to move from the maternity side to the transitional side. It's very individual to each mother. So depending on how far along they are when they arrive at Lifehouse, how long it takes them to get established in their parenting skills. Once they have their baby, we want to make sure that they are able to care for their child, that they're confident and comfortable with that, on just as far as feedings and changing, getting up, getting ready for work, getting their baby off to daycare, and taking care of life. And then when they get home, to be able to manage keeping their space clean and organized, to feed their baby, to bathing, bedtime, all of those general things that as parents we have to juggle in a day. We want to make sure that they are comfortable with those when they're on the maternity side, before we give them that little bit of freedom when they move to the transitional side. So there's not necessarily a designated time frame, but overall our residents can live here at Lifehouse with us for 4 years. As Leslie mentioned, in their first 30 days, that we help them get set up with government assistance, because for childcare, for daycare and things like that, working a part-time job, many of our residents work in fast food or grocery stores, things like that. And so they may need that assistance in covering their daycare cost and other things. But ultimately, in the end, before they leave us, we want them to be self-sufficient and to be able to come off of any government assistance before they leave Lifehouse. So this is the living room and efficiency kitchen of one of our apartments. We have 6 apartments here on the transitional side, and that you can see it comes with your basic furnishings, a little kitchen table, your couch, a chair to rock your baby, and the kitchen appliances and such. Now, we do not provide the silverware, plates and dishes, cookware, obviously not a TV. Those are all things that we want the mother to purchase on their own so that they start establishing their provisions that they will need for their own household once they move out of Lifehouse. And things like TV and things are a luxury, so we want to help guide them in what the necessities are, is to be able to feed their child versus to entertain themselves or their child. So to balance those priorities when it's appropriate to purchase those things. As Leslie mentioned, as far as budgeting and finance, we do work with our residents on a budgeting system. So on the maternity side, that the residents put 50% of their paycheck into savings. They pay 10% of their check to Lifehouse for room and board. I see our resident, our videographer is nodding along. She's very familiar with this process. 10% is tithing to the church or charity of their choice, because we feel that is extremely important as well. And then 30% is towards their discretionary spending, whether they have bills, as they're gathering their items that they need for their child, that 30% is their discretionary spending. When they move to the apartment side, we shift that percentages a little bit. They do pay a little bit more in their room and board because it's going to be more expensive when they move out on their own, so we want them to get used to that, paying a little bit more for that. Granted, it is still, we do still help them with covering that. It's not enough to cover all the utilities, but they have some skin in the game. And also their savings decreases to 25%, and their discretionary spending increases. And the purpose for that is because obviously with their child, they're having to maybe buy formula, diapers, all of their child's needs. So their discretionary expenses do go up, but we want to keep that savings in place, because obviously to be able to save for your future, and that savings, that's a nest egg for our residents. So whether it's to continue their education, because we want to get them in a more substantial career during that 4 years that they're allowed to stay here, that whether it be a technical training, whether it be college, just continuing their education, we want to set them up for that future success to be self-sustaining. And so that savings could go towards that, could go towards a down payment on a house, which we have had a resident recently purchase her first home, or even just their first and last month's rent, their deposit on an apartment when they move out. So that savings account is for their future. We want to teach them the importance of savings while they're here at Lifehouse. So we're coming down the hall, and as you can see, we have a good amount of storage, whether it be with the cabinets in the kitchen, but also we have a big double closet here, which is great for our residents with whether it be car seats or their children's toys, clothes. Again, we want to make sure that they are, all of our residents here are responsible for chores while they're here at Lifehouse, and one of those is maintaining their apartment and balancing everything else, making sure that it's not only clean but tidy as well. And of course we do have, each apartment has its own bathroom, and they are 1-bedroom apartments. So mother and child, they do share their bedroom. So there's room enough for one bed and a baby bed. We do have some that are slightly larger. So if they have an additional child, or for our dynamic duo, the twins, they're in a slightly larger bedroom for the 2 baby beds. And we do have 2 closets. So one for mom and one for baby. So more space here, obviously, than our bedrooms in the maternity side, as when they're family grows, they need a little bit more space, especially as their babies are growing and need a little bit more room to run around and play, and for the babies to be put to bed while mother's, if she's needed to clean, prepare food for the next day, whatever is needed to be done once they go to bed. So this is our transitional apartment. And as I mentioned, we do have 6 transitional apartments. I almost turned the lights off as we walked through there, as that's a habit in the home. We always teach our residents to turn lights off because utilities are not free. And even though they're paying a set amount for room and board, we want them to learn to be in that good habit, to be responsible when they move out on their own, so that they can help budget their own their own money when they're paying for everything. We appreciate you joining us and would love, once things opened up, we were really excited. I know as everybody's very anxious for everything to open up so that we can have visitors back in the home. In the meantime, we greatly, greatly appreciate everyone's support. And if you're not aware, next Tuesday, there is a special Giving Tuesday now. It is a special edition of Giving Tuesday that we're used to in the fall after Thanksgiving. This is the spring version that they're doing for the current situation with the coronavirus. And we are really looking forward to it because we are making it completely an appreciation for all of our supporters and some celebrations for you, as well as we have a special announcement next week. So hope you tune in. Visit us next Tuesday on our Facebook page. And in the meantime, have a great week. Take care and God bless you.